It's the summer of 1999 in Yugoslavia, and I have just turned 12. It had been a very strange couple of months, to say the least. We had just gone through a war and bombings, but in a weird way, those few months were also very fun. There was no school, and I played all day long inside or outside. We built a shelter with our neighbors, people we grew unexpectedly close to, and we would rush there at almost the same hours every day and night. There was one type of siren for danger and another one to signal its end. Even today, I cannot stand a siren. Planes that fly too low also make me nervous. Back then, we would try to guess what they might bomb near us, how far it would be, and reassure ourselves that civilians were almost never the target. We let that guide how scared we allowed ourselves to be. During that time, my dad did not have a job, as many didn't. His German company shut down, so he found a job as a chef in a local restaurant. He would be called when there was a customer who wanted to eat. Not many people did. There was mainly a lot of rakia drinking going on. For someone who left all the socializing to my mom, he started going out way too often, or simply not coming back after his shifts. Not straight away, anyway. My parents did not have a great relationship, but during those times, things got out of control. They fought a lot, and then they withdrew and left me and my brother navigate everyday life kind of on our own. Don't get me wrong, they were physically there, but suddenly we were free. My mom was a control freak. So the taste of freedom, even those dangerous circumstances, felt very much needed and welcomed on my part. I don't remember what my brother did, but based on his failed year at university, I guess he was also having fun. I would wander outside all day long with neighbors who were older than me, and I would go to protests and concerts organized as resistance. Obviously, I would run back to the shelter when the siren said so, and home to eat. But other than that, there was a lot of socializing, playing games, and hanging out. All of this was also okay because we lived on the main street of my hometown, and everything was happening just around the corner. My mom knew that if she needed to, she could find me just 2 blocks away. Right at the time when the bombing ended, summer started, and I began noticing my own breasts, and that something in me was changing. It felt bittersweet. Back then, we didn't talk about being a teenager or what that meant for us or for our parents. It simply wasn't a topic. And then, another neighbor's cousin came from Canada. He was my age and a very handsome boy. They asked me one day if I would go out with them, which meant that we would simply walk up and down the main street that was always, especially in the summertime, packed with people. I accepted the invitation. He was exotic, someone who spoke English and had a different life experience. I was intrigued. I remember exactly what I wore and hoped something would happen between us without really defining in my head what that something was or meant. I remember he didn't speak a lot. We were both kind of shy. At one point, we were alone together just around the corner from my street, and I remember the horrible feeling in my stomach that suddenly overwhelmed me, as if something really bad were about to happen. Keep in mind, peace had been declared only a month earlier, and there I was, holding hands in the shadow of my building, and had never felt such an unbearably frightening sensation before. Was it the fear that my mom might see me and return to being the control freak she had been? Or was it simply the fear of a new beginning, something that felt like both a loss and a start? He kissed me. A kiss that came too soon, although the bra and freshly tasted freedom were already there. A kiss that made me sick to my stomach had left a resentful feeling towards this boy who was just very normal and sweet. But I felt as if he had stolen something from me that would never, ever be restored. I went home and decided to avoid him for the rest of his stay, which was not going to be easy since he was staying in the same street. I know now that I was not ready, that I was too young yet already on the threshold of adulthood. I don't know if it was the war, sleepless nights in front of the TV, the games with my older neighbor, my parents' marriage nearly falling apart, maybe not going to school, or the kiss, or, simply the mix of all in only few months. But it made me realize I was no longer the same. I had entered adulthood without any idea what to do with it, and there was no turning back.